entertaining and informing the Valley. AM Stereo 1260, KGIL, San Fernando.
Good morning. This is the 6 o'clock edition of your KGIL Valley News Service. I'm Ed Zeal. An answer may be forthcoming today on whether 5 filmmakers should stand trial for the deaths of 3 people in the Twilight Zone movie tragedy. Station 57 degrees. If it happens in the Valley, you'll hear it first on KGIL. I'm Ed Zeal. The time, almost 5 minutes after 6. Look who's here, for goodness sakes. A head of hair, 6'2", 225 pounds.
6'4".
6'4", I'm sorry. Well, it's been a couple of years. I've forgotten the dimensions.
Yes.
But I can see clearly now, yes. He's here.
A head of hair that reminds most people of the Bavarian Black Forest at the height of the spring rain season at the end of a particularly heavy downpour. Are these the things that you see?
Those are the things that I've dwelt upon for so long. And I see them before me again.
Zeal,
I'm thrilled.
You little worm.
I know. Hello.
Hello.
I'm so happy you're back.
I'm glad to be back. Thank you, babe.
If anybody is wondering, who the hell's he happy is back is? Sweet Dick is there. He's on the other side of the glass.
Thank you, babe.
Yeah.
Now, what do we do to get started? I'm watching you and you're watching me.
Oh, well, I
suppose.
don't
know what to do.
You want to play music or you want to talk?
Let's do some music first.
Want to do some music?
Oh, God, I don't know what to do,
Hit
Zeal.
one of those buttons over there.
Or just push the button?
Sure.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Zeal.
My pleasure.
La love. Oh, it works.
Well, I'm summer and winter.
This is so weird. I mean, it really is. It just shouldn't be. It's also very embarrassing. I mean, more than even I can put words to, and God knows I can do that. But the 4th time, I'm not going to dwell on this because it's not time for vomit at this hour in the morning, but it is rather absurd, isn't it? To the point where I woke up, as I usually do in the morning in my miserable little home, had my bowl of gruel, and got in the car, and I swear this, the car knew exactly where to go, as if the whole thing was predestined. I don't know whether I can call myself a religious man or not. I believe in something. After all, I perhaps am the only man in the media who talks to him on a regular basis, anybody who knows my work. And I don't get too much headache or static from you simply because I give him all of the funny lines, or at least I try to. But I'm beginning to believe that maybe there is a force or something up there that says, your sweetness, obviously, you'd better stay because you just keep coming back. This is number 4. This has got to be probably a world's record. What we're going to do, I'm going to introduce you to my new assistant, Tim Regan, Tiny Tim. You'll meet him, and of course, the very real Bert Ersatz. Ed Zeal is here. That makes it very, very nice. I won't be this humble tomorrow. I'm humble today simply because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. There are a lot of things here to push, and everybody is telling me what to do, and I'm being humble because I don't know what to do. As soon as I get it down, I'll be my usual arrogant, snotty self. But until I get to that point, I'm nice. And of course, nice with me is boring, as perhaps many of you know. Now, let me see. At 10 minutes past 6, 10 past 6, from AM Stereo 1260, KGIL, I got to say that to get that in my head, too. I am Dick Whittington. Sweet Dick, that's what they call me. And before I was so rudely interrupted, and I really was, come February 1st, at that other place, I want to talk about that later on. I hope somebody from there is listening, because I really want to talk about that, and I certainly will. But I remember I was right in the middle. We were talking about, and you remember this, if any of you from over there are now over here with me, and I hope you are, welcome. I think we'll have a good time together, I really do. But at the time, I was talking about mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, CPR. We got into that. I don't know how we got into that, but we did. And I was saying that I don't care how humane you are. No one should have to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to people with denture breath. To me, if you have denture breath, then you shouldn't live anyhow. And we got into the whole morality issue about people with denture breath and in the event of mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. I was going to take a poll on that when suddenly I was fired. So we can continue that a little bit later on. We'll do that around 6:30 this morning. If you believe, and I'm certainly willing, as you know, to listen to two sides of any argument, if you believe that mouth-to-mouth resuscitation should be given to people with denture breath, then hey, I'll listen. Probably hang up on you, but I will listen. So we'll get back to that. As I said, I was rudely interrupted right in the middle of that, which is one of the more pressing things I think I've ever done. We'll get back to that in a little bit then. It is 11 and a half minutes, 11 and a half now past 6 o'clock, or 6:11:30 if you like it that way. Understand, this is all a new system for me, and it's my usual sweet cop-out. I have a cop-out for every place I work, which is every place in this town, and I had to learn a new system every time. I envy people who stay in the same job for 25, 35 years, and they know exactly what's going on. I say I envy them, but I really don't. I wouldn't change my life an iota. I've thought about that. I don't think I would.
KGIL in the valley. KGIL. KGIL in the valley.
Oh, I've made a mistake already.
Well, I told you we're an AM stereo, you see.
Would you consider changing your life?
I was going so good, too.
I knew I needed moral support. What was love? Got to love. Got to love. What was love?
All right, Stephen Bishop right there from 1260 KGIL. Sweet Dick here at 16 now past 6:16 is what it is. And this is, in the event you didn't know, Monday morning. It's the 26th of March. There's some clouds and overcast out there. Let me just take a look at the forecast. First of all, for the San Fernando Valley, it says what we're seeing right now, the low clouds, and then this should burn off around mid-morning. And just evidently a sensational day, pretty much like it was yesterday. Some strong sun late afternoon. So we're going to see about a high 75, 76 today, somewhere in there, down into the 50s, and good air all over. Down at the Civic Center, right up through Hollywood, we're talking just about the same thing, nothing really any different, and maybe some light smog this afternoon around 3:30, 4 o'clock, but that's only natural. Going out to the beaches, Malibu, Santa Monica, Redondo, Hermosa, and the Marina. Let me see, you're talking about a high of 72 today, most beaches. The clouds will linger longer out there as usual. And that's about it. So it's going to be nice. We got no problems. No problems at all. San Bernardino, San Gabriel Valley, in the event you're going out in that direction. Same thing as here, the San Fernando Valley, high 75 or 76. So that is about it. With the current temperature, we got about 58 degrees. I'm showing off here only because I got to figure out where everything is and all of that stuff. Now, I imagine that a lot of you tuning in this morning and saying, where's that nice Jerry Bishop? The only reason I am here this morning is to answer the same question. Because when I woke up this morning, I said, where is that nice Jerry Bishop? And he wasn't on. And I said, well, damn. Double damn, Mr. Sweetness. You got to get over there and find out where Mr. Jerry Bishop is. So I'm over here. Now, actually, just so you won't think that the worst has happened, that only seems to happen at radio stations that I work. But this is a very nice radio station. I'll talk about this later. But Jerry's just getting to sleep in. He goes from 10 until 3 this afternoon. So as a consequence, Jerry will be here. David! Beloved David Mendelbaum, my God, it's good seeing you. This is very inside for anybody not familiar with this radio station, but I haven't seen this man in 200 years. We live right next door to each other. I purposely haven't wanted to see him for the last 200 years. And I go through that great big show business. Hello, David! I can't stand it. He's miserable. Where was it? Jerry Bishop. Let's talk about a nice person and a Christian, David, and a Christian. Is Bishop a Christian this year? And anyway, we'll get into his religious ethics, if Bishop has any. Bishop is a very short man. I want to talk about that a little bit later on. It has a lot to do with his sex life. And that's one of the reasons why he is not here in the morning anymore. We feel that it can be controlled in midday. Zeal, I haven't gotten to you yet, but I will, my dear. I want to talk about Zeal's whiplash collar. You'll want to hear about this, and you will hear about it. Trust me, there's an awful lot of time to fill between now and 10 o'clock, and a lot of music, and I think I'm going to win, because I still can control it. 19 and a half minutes past 6 o'clock, 19 and a half past 6. And good morning from, seriously about Jerry Bishop, though, because I know you'll call and say, well, you numbbrain, you have done it again. You've knocked a very nice person out of a job. No, he has a job. He has a job from 10 until 3 o'clock, which are far better hours than these, obviously. Okay? That make it all right? And you're saying, what a terrific human being this man has become humble. He's gotten mellow, they say. See, they're saying that I've gotten mellow in my, I wouldn't say my middle years, because, my God, that would be admitting something, wouldn't it? But anyway, I've gotten mellow, yes. That's true. There's no doubt about it.
When a beautiful girl has a Broadway dream, you're at 42nd Street.
Call toll-free 1-800-762-7666.
KGIL in the valley. KGIL.
Not bad, only a 20-second delay. Yeah, I'm getting there. Music is my life, and therefore music. 21 and a half past 6, 21 and a half past 6. Good morning, buenos dias.
This was yourself you were involved with. I would have.
All right, some Helen Reddy there from AM Stereo 1260, and this is KGIL, and I'm Dick Whittington, Sweet Dick. And this is a very lovely day for me. I must say, well, I'm working again. That's always a lovely day. And for me, in my always dwindling career, that is a thrill, a real thrill. First of all, as many of you know, or maybe don't know, that I hope you get to know again, Mr. Sweetness has been here 4 times. This will mark the 4th day that I have been back here. And we'll get into that a little later. The reasons for it, God knows. And that's it. I mean, I think maybe I've just said it there. God knows, I mean, by this time. But first of all, I look up, and there's the real Ed Zeal. Eddie and I, of course, have worked together for many years, and have done a lot of things together, and had a lot of fun together, and it's just the best. I say that only behind his back. I would never tell him to his face. And then I looked up again about 10 minutes ago, and one of the finest human beings I've ever met, and I mean this, just a fine, fine person. And there are a few of these still left in our world. And a brilliant engineer who's no longer in this business. He got smart, about 5-6 years ago. And his name is beloved David Mendelbaum. You might remember a thing that we did, The Pregnant Man. And I don't know how many people streamed through this radio station to feel beloved David's stomach. And you really believe that he was pregnant. In fact, I really believe that he was pregnant. And that's how we got started on that whole thing. But that dear man came over on his way to his high-paying job. And I just want to publicly say thank you very much, beloved David. Then, of course, some of you might remember, this all started at KFI back in 1976. There was a young man who was calling me constantly. And...
Well, I wouldn't say constantly.
A lot. In fact, I put you...
All the time, maybe.
I put you on a lot because...
Actually, you put me on hold a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
And it became a bit, and from there... It became mandatory that Wendell, yes, Wendell is here.
Oh,
Wendell become my producer, and so he was from KFI through KGIL for a year. Good morning, Wendell.
And good morning to you, Mr. Sweet Dick. What can I say? When I saw the announcement in the paper that you were returning to the Valley, I mean, if first of all, it knocked me over with a feather. And second of all, I thought to myself, if Sweet Dick could be coming back to the Valley, could Ralph Williams be far behind?
He's working his way back. He's in Long Beach, isn't he?
Huntington Beach?
Huntington Beach, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Anyway, as I've told you before, although not necessarily on the air, because at the time my parents were living in Los Angeles, I was listening to you when I was in junior high, and my father would drive me to school. He was a big fan of KGIL 20 hours a day, and you were the other 4. But he still kept the radio on, and while he was listening, he would say, he would always make, nasty comments about that jerk on the radio. And this was around 1968, 69. Yeah. And, of course, that was the era when all young people were supposed to rebel from their parents. So you became my rebellion.
Really?
Really. I thought I told you this, at least privately. Again, not publicly, because my parents were living in the area. I didn't want the word to get to them. But I have been with you almost, if not with you, at least with you. What does that mean? At least as long as 90% of the people in your audience.
Thank you.
And on behalf of your audience, I have prepared a little, this is a little plaque now to describe this. Well, first of all, at the top there is this quotation.
Yes.
And so it came to pass that the man they called Sweet Dick came down from the mountain and into the valley, bearing 2 tape cartridges on which were transcribed the 10 commandments of radio. These are your 10 commandments. Yes. You may want to read them off one at a time, maybe specific segments in the show. This will drag it out as long as you want. And these are on, I was supposed to have gotten out of this business myself 5 years ago, but I still keep broadcast cartridges at home. I don't understand.
Yeah.
But, of course, from the first to the last of the 10 commandments, you have, of course, do not play less than 3 records an hour, unless you're doing a talk format, in which case play 4.
Commandment number 1.
Yes. Commandment number 2, respect your news department, for they shall provide your funniest material.
Commandment number 2, yes.
Do not take the name of your sponsor in vain unless it's an ad-lib spot.
Very good, yes.
Do not spend more than 18 minutes an hour promoting your own show.
Oh, very good, Wendell.
Do not talk over the vocals of a record you like.
Yes.
Repeat your best bits often for the benefit of the listeners who didn't get the joke the first time.
Or the second or the third.
Respect the engineers, for they have the power to make you sound like Donald Duck. Always tell your audience the truth as long as it gets a laugh. Oh boy, we're starting to go downhill.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Commandment number 9.
This is important. Do not covet your neighbor's ratings. Rather, take comfort in knowing all of your listeners by name. And finally, when in doubt, go to a commercial.
Thank you. And it's on a plaque?
Yes. Quotation, of course, from the Book of Arbitron, Gospel of Sweet Dick.
Thank you very, very much, Wendell. It really is
Thank
a good
you.
thing. Wendell is wearing a T-shirt that says, I never get lost because everyone tells me where to go.
This is a 7-year-old T-shirt presented to me, and Wendell is written on the back with the when appropriately emphasized.
Wendell, it is a delight seeing you, and I appreciate your coming over.
It's a delight seeing you, and you'll be hearing from me. That's a threat, not a promise.
I know. Thank you, dear boy. You're a good one. Thank you very, very much. Zeal, is it all too sickening for you?
I don't know whether anybody is aware of it, but there is a very deep vacuum in the West San Fernando Valley. Wendell has just sucked all the air out of Canoga Park. I've never heard anyone talk so long.
Wendell
at one
is
time.
the best, though. You remember him when we were over KFI?
Sure.
And Wendell just followed us over. God, no, it's a delight singing. He really is. I'm absolutely thrilled. Well, Zeal, because I'm going to be a good person this first day here, I better get you home with the news.
Mm-hmm.
News, and then we'll get into Zeal and his life, which, of course, hasn't been much of a one, I'm sure, since I left. But we'll get back into that and give him a life again. Right now, come on in, Eddie, and do what you must do.
All right, thank you. I will. An answer may be forthcoming today on whether 5 filmmakers ought to be standing trial for the deaths of 3 people in the Twilight Zone movie tragedy. High cloudiness. High temperature is going to be in the low to mid-70s. The overnight readings will dip into the 50s, and our air quality ought to be good. Right now, 60 degrees in Lakeview Terrace, Encino 57, and here at our official KGIL weather station, 57 degrees. If it happens in the valley, you'll hear it first on KGIL. I'm Ed Zeal. We've got 27 minutes before 7.
KGIL in the valley. If not for you, babe, I couldn't even find the door.
All right, some Olivia Newton-John right there, right? 23 minutes now until 7 o'clock, 23 until 7 or 6:37 if you like it that way. From AM Stereo, let me get all this down now. AM Stereo 1260 KGIL. I just got to get all this stuff. The stereo you know about. I have to keep repeating that all the time, but the thing is that I just mentioned that. It's an ego thing for us. If you don't have an AM stereo, it doesn't mean a hell of a lot to you, except at around 8:24, precisely 8:24:22 this morning, we're going to test some AM stereo equipment here. And I do believe that even if you do not have AM stereo and you are curious about it, it's much better than FM stereo because, you see, it's a 3-speaker function that can be actually gained through the regular AM 1-speaker system. And you say that sounds very confusing, Mr. Sweetik. I don't understand it. Well, that's because I'm smarter than you and I would naturally understand this better. But we will give you a test of this, as I say, at 8:22:32 this morning, in the event you want to be around for that. If you miss it, well, that's it. I'm sorry, but we just try to accommodate everybody as much as we possibly can. As you'll notice, the mouth that pours hasn't really stopped, has it? People want to know what I do between jobs. I just keep talking and giving the temperatures, the forecasts, and whatever else might pop in my alleged mind. And it just goes on and on. So whether I'm working for money or not, it doesn't really matter, don't you see? Now, in the event you didn't know, today's the 26th of March. And again, for those of you just getting to all of this, it is going to be a very nice day. The low clouds, obviously, this morning, as you can see. But around mid-morning, we'll see the sun. Well, we'll see the sun before that here in the San Fernando Valley. But downtown Hollywood, we'll see the sun a little bit later on. The marina down through Hermosa, Manhattan, probably not until 11:30. Malibu, Santa Monica, all about the same. But there will be some sun today. We'll get up to about a 75, 76. Beaches, 70 to 71. And that's about it. Good air all over the place, as Eddie just pointed out. So it's going to be a nice day. And again, I just say it's really nice. I thank you very much for those of you who have been calling. We appreciate that very much. It's just that I'm not that familiar with the system yet. And so just give me a little while here to get used to all of the new buttons and the things that I have to get used to in order to make this thing work right. But we have a new young person, Boy George, who was with me over at that 3-letter place that I want to talk about a little bit later on, is still there, for those of you who have been noticing in some of the mail I've received, wondering what happened to him. He's over there. With me now, I have a young man. His name is Tim Regan. Tim is, well, we'll just call him Tiny Tim, and you'll get to know Tiny Tim as time goes on, and along with the real Ed Zeal, Bob Flaherty in the airplane, and I think that we have, hopefully, the roots of something fairly decent starting here again on my 4th time around. So silly indeed. All right, it is 19 minutes until 7 o'clock, 19 until 7, with His Sweetness, Dick Whittington, here from AM Stereo 1260 KGIL. All right. All right, Phil Collins right there. From 1260 KGIL, His Sweetness, Dick Whittington. Again, good morning. I say all of that just to see if I'm here, and so I am. And live and all of that stuff. 16 minutes until 6 o'clock. I better give some phone numbers here in the event that you want some phone numbers. I should do that for some new friends I might have made or older enemies that I might have made over the years. And so I'm going to do that. In the San Fernando Valley would be 894-9191. 894-9191. Now, out of the area, that would be, out of the valley, that would be 877-3466. Okay, and then it's a rotary thing. 877-3466. Okay, that's for out of the area. In the area, 894-9191. The reason I'm doing that is because we're going to do some things later on once I get clean here. And then the other numbers, Tim, 980-1260, is that it? 980-1260? Is that right? Yeah. I don't read your lips. I can't do that. I don't do many things. Oh, 989-1260. I'm sorry. Thank you. 989-1260. So you can do anything you want. I mean, I don't know. It's your life. I don't tell you what to do. You don't tell me what to do. But anyway, if you want to use them, you're more than welcome to use them. And Tiny Tim is a very nice young man. You'll meet him here as time goes on. He'll be answering the phone. Now, I'm screwing up a little bit only because it's my first day, and they'll be very, very forgiving, simply because I don't know what I'm doing. A man that I have been listening to here, and I must